Good morning, everyone. My name is Mulaney. I am the primary protector in the law system, and today we're going to be talking about system communication and cooperation, how to facilitate it, and some tips for how to work with difficult alters. This was something that we found very hard in our first few months of knowing that we were a system. Even though I am the primary protector, a lot of the alters considered me too harsh, and that created a lot of arguments within the system, particularly with me and Honesty, and sometimes me and Beau, although now we have a very good relationship. So, getting into it. How can you communicate with some of your alters to try and facilitate cooperation? There are a lot of ways to do this, but there are a main three that we generally use. One is talking in the inner worlds. This is pretty self-explanatory, but it might not be an option for all systems, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best one. Also, you should only do it if this is safe, as some alters, particularly persecutors, can be violent in the inner world, and that's not something that you would want to be able to facilitate and put yourself in harm's way. The second is being co-conscious and talking. This can be being co-conscious and just projecting your thoughts and hoping that you get something back, or this can be writing something down and hoping that the other person takes over and writes a reply. This is something that we do a lot. It's one of the main functions of our journal. We think that journals are really important. Leading on to the third point, journaling. If you're really struggling to reach out to a certain alter, I think that it's a very good idea to write down in your journal, "Hello, alter name. We've noticed that you've been around lately. We'd like to get to know you better, and we'd like to be able to communicate with you. Please write back soon," and maybe add a few more details about who you are as an alter and about your system. Now, here are some things that you should know while trying to facilitate your cooperation. Every alter matters and is needed in the system. They all have purpose. They were all created by your trauma to help you, whoever you may be, the host, protector, or whoever, to help your system survive. Yes, protectors can be overzealous and be labelled as persecutors because they are too harsh on certain people. Dissociated. Too harsh on certain people on the outside who they consider to be a threat. Persecutors, I often say, are just trauma holders who are trying to have agency, and yes, that may cause them to harm other alters or the body. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't be given a second chance if they do want to change and become a functioning and cooperative member of the system. Now, how, once you have communication with these alters, do you try and start to get them to cooperate with you? I would say that the most important thing is to engage with them on their level. If they are very childish, then do not talk down to them. And if they are very mature and formal, don't try and be humorous with them. It's very important to recognise that all alters are very unique and they will have different needs when it comes to trying to communicate with them. Now, what about in cases of alters who really are dangerous to the body's life, either in a very real sense or in a sense that they sabotage relationships, they sabotage friendships, or they could get you fired from your job or kicked out of school? Well, in this case, action probably is needed. You should explain to this alter calmly why they cannot do certain things, like front in a certain place, or be around a certain social media app to text someone, etc., etc., whatever your situation is. You should try and do trust exercises with them. This was very helpful with our persecutors Lincoln and Marigold, who are now starting to become reformed. I'm very proud of them. We did trust exercises with them, for example, trusting Marigold to go to therapy and then letting her have a couple of hours to herself. And with Lincoln, we trusted him to be around the littles, and that's kind of become his role now. It's really lovely to see. Have someone co-conscious with them while you're doing these trust exercises, so that if things do go awry, you have someone who can take over and quickly pull them back out of the outer world and into the inner world. However, it's important to not be too close when you are doing these trust exercises. It can feel like that alter is being smothered, or that they are a prisoner in their own body. Give them a sense of agency, even if you are watching. And this is something that was very hard for us to learn, but you shouldn't talk badly about your alters behind their back to friends in the outer world. This is something that we have done before and that we still struggle with. Alters just saying mean things about our persecutors, or alters that they just don't like. For example, a lot of us aren't very fond of Montana, who is a gatekeeper / persecutor, and we will often badmouth her to our friends, and while it can be cathartic in the moment, it's not good for facilitating a healthy and happy sister environment. I think that that's all for today. I'm sorry if you could hear noise in the background. That was our father. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. It's the first one I filmed on the channel and I'm slightly nervous, but yeah. I hope that you all have a very good day, and please do comment down below if there are any questions that you have. I would be more than happy to answer. And if you do need to talk about a specific situation, please feel free to reach out to us via our email, which is linked in the description. Have a good day, everyone.